'Di ba?
Maybe not. Don't bang that. You'll scare them off.
And I'll scare them away.
Yeah, we don't want to scare them away, do we? I've got you. You can't fall. You're going to say hi to Mummy. Say cheese. You alright?
We currently have a very sleepy baby on the rock. He's called Monty. He's our year-old pup who is just coming to the age now where he's starting to eat solids. If you were here at this morning's display just afterwards, he did actually eat 5 little scraps, which is very, very exciting. We then have his dad, Casper, who's up for you today first. We then have Sophia, who is mum, and Callie, who is his older sister, who's 2 years old, and then we have to tell us with their behaviour that they want to take part, or that they are in fact hungry, which is why you would have seen that all of the adults and all those that are trainable have actually gone down to their bedroom, and that's their way of saying that yes, I'd like to take part, and yes, I am particularly hungry this afternoon. So we don't limit the food that they have, it's completely up to their appetite. They are very good at telling us no when they're quite full, which is something I wish that I was good at, because unfortunately I can just eat and eat and eat and still feel hungry. So it's really good that these guys are able to do that, and it means that we can give them as much food as they want. Good boy, a little bit more. For me, asking him to blow bubbles is a really nice behaviour for him, because it's actually one of his favourite things to do, but also it's a really nice natural behaviour as well. So out in the wild, these guys would come across crab crates or something where an animal might be hiding in. They might come across nooks and crannies in rocks where fish will hide, and they'll blow bubbles in there to try and get those fish to come out so they can eat them. Asking females to ask him to blow bubbles is a great way for us to be able to wash his face before putting eye drops in, without me having to walk up to him with a cup of water and throwing it on. Someone did that to me. So we want this to be a nice experience for Casper, the same with our girls as well. We want all of our husbandry with them to be for their benefit as well. We don't want it to be horrible for them, and it's all through choice. And if they don't want to come up and spend time with us on the beach, then they don't have to, which is why we have to try and make these training sessions as fun as possible, but also nice so they know that if they do something that we ask for, good point, that they're going to get rewarded for it. Having an incentive, so their incentive for their training is fish. For me, when I was younger, it used to be pocket money or sweets. And for these guys, those sort of things don't really work for them. For your dogs and cats at home, they really enjoy a scratch behind the ear, or they might like playing with their favourite toy. With our sea lions, it is generally all about food. So we use what we call positive reinforcement. So positive being good, so me giving fish is a good thing, and reinforcing is that when he does a behaviour that I ask for, he gets the fish. So that is rewarding him for doing what we've asked for. Now this behaviour here is both fun for you guys to see, but also a great way for us to show you how seals will move compared to sea lions. So you'll see that Casper, when he's not being lazy, will actually tuck his back little flippies in underneath him to walk on him, a bit like 2 little back legs, and then he'll use his front flippers to be able to support his upper body, allowing him to walk quadrupedally. So that just means 4 quad, and then pedally meaning limbed, so 4 limbed, which means that he's walking around a bit like a dog or a cat. Seals will just belly flop along the floor, they don't have that ability to support themselves. The other way to tell a seal and a sea lion apart is that their front flippers will be considerably different. With these guys, they don't really have any obvious nails on their front flippers, and they are much, much bigger. So with Casper's, when he was lifting them up, you would have seen that they were roughly around the size of my entire arm. With the girls, they tend to be around the size of my forearm. Whereas with seals, they are roughly my hand, and that is just because they just don't need bigger than that necessarily to be able to get them to move around in the oceans. The only reason why they're so big for sea lions is because they need them that large to be able to support their upper body. Casper has done an amazing job, so we're going to pop him back and let him have some of his snacks in his bedroom, and we'll see if his main breeding female wants to come up and do some training with us today. So we do all of our training slightly differently with every single individual, and everyone's on a slightly different sort of path with regards to what they're learning. And everyone learns differently, a bit like us humans. Some people are really good at learning things physically, some people are really good at reading things and remembering them, and some people prefer to be shown and then copy it that way, which is what we call mimicry, which is what we're hopeful that Monty will start doing. He did actually start coming over and copying his mum and his siblings. Hello. Coming over to the rock to see what was going on, which is a great way for them to learn. It's a bit like when you're younger and you start to mimic mouth movements when you start to eat, when you start to mimic sounds and words when you're a baby. It's how every single animal learns, is through mimicry. Now this is Sophia, and she is our main breed, yes, and her favourite behaviour is ball jump. Now this is a really great for you guys to see, but also it's a nice way to show you what they would do to try and get away from a predator out in the wild. They won't necessarily be jumping a rope across the ocean with a ball hanging on it, but they will be jumping out the ocean to make loads of big bubbles, loads of waves, to be able to try and get a distraction against their predators. Now these guys are actually hunted by things such as sharks and killer whales. Where are you going? There we go. By sharks and killer whales, and they are incredibly fast. So when a sea lion wants to get a wiggle on, they can actually get to the speed of around 35 to 40 miles an hour, which is very, very impressive. Now, to be able to get away from those predators, they will use anything they can. So they'll go up against objects, like what she's going to do at the moment, just going over to a window. But out in the wild, it could be a boat, it could be a rock. She'll swim against it, she'll splash around, and then try and go back. Hopefully the killer whale or the shark will boop its nose on that rock, and she'll hopefully dash away. Now these guys are found on the coast of California, much like their name suggests, being the Californian sea lion, but they're not only found there, they can be found up in Canada and down to the Gulf of Mexico as well, yes. So they have a very large range in which they can be found, and a very large sort of variety of food they'll eat. Now here at the zoo we mainly feed Baltic herring, but we do give them what I like to call fancy fish, so they'll get sardines, they'll get British herring, they'll get... we've tried shelled food like crabs and mussels and stuff, but anything that requires them to chew is just a bit too much for these guys. You might have noticed that both Sophia and Casper have both been eating their food whole. That's not them being lazy, that is just how they would eat their food, both in captivity and in the wild. It allows them to eat as much as they can, and then they have very strong stomach acid, which helps them to be able to digest all that food. Now out in the wild they would eat a variety of things. They'll come across jellyfish, octopus, they'll come across sardines, sprats, they'll come across all sorts of fish. So here at the zoo we do try and give them the fancy fish, but we do try and make sure that we get all of our fish sustainably. So if you guys do eat fish or any sort of meat that comes from the ocean, so any sort of shellfish or anything like that, please look out for the little Marine Stewardship Council sign. This little sign just means that all the fish that you are buying means that they've all been harvested or all been taken from an area where there's a really nice big large population. You're not taking too many out of the wild, causing a population dip. You're not buying fish that have been caught using trolling, which is quite damaging to the bottoms of the ocean and therefore to corals and things like that as well. And it's really important because it means that you can still continue to eat all your favourite foods, and you're never going to run out of them in the future. Which is why we always use Baltic herring, because it's quite a large, numerous fish out in the wild, and it means that we can get it nice and sustainably. Now this is Callie, and she is our youngest. She is, well, not our youngest sea lion, but our youngest training. She is just over 2 years old, and she actually celebrated her birthday on the 16th of May. And she's doing so well with her training, but at this stage she's going through her terrible twos and she's getting a bit frustrated with me, which is fine. All of the training is done through choice, and it's completely up to them what they want to do. Nope. So we have just recently graduated her to a new rock that she's very happy about. She's much taller than everyone else, which I think she feels a bit like the king of the castle. So the rock next to hers is actually her brother's now, which was originally hers. But she has got to this stage where we are trying to teach her walk around, which you might have seen me ask some of the adults to do that earlier, which is a great way for me to see, good girl, see how her mobility is. It's great for me to see that she's walking okay, that she's not limping, not favouring one side or the other. But she did do really well, and she did it a few times, but that was when it was really cloudy and gross, and then my shadow appeared and it was all very scary. So we're trying to build up her confidence again, but also Mr. Seagull knows that she's terrified of him and he likes to cause her problems. But here at the zoo, we always try and tailor the training to each other. So you would have noticed that with Sophia, I asked her to open her mouth slightly differently to how I asked Casper to open his mouth. Oh no. Can you target over here then? So you'll notice that we never, well here at the zoo, none of us would ever shout at our sea lions, shout at any of the animals for doing something wrong. We're not mean to them, we don't take fish away from them. We just ask them to go back to their station. And we just try a different behaviour instead. It's all about them understanding what we're asking for. It gets quite confusing sometimes when you're being spoken to in a different language which you don't speak, so me asking her to do a behaviour seems very different, but you get frustrated. Cool, we'll throw some fish in the pond. So because she is getting a little bit frustrated and she did a bit of a mouthing thing at me there, we're just going to throw some fish in the pool and allow her to have a bit of fun. So it's all about trying to make it interesting. I had a few phases where she would come up for training. She wouldn't really want to do much. She'd just sort of throw fish around and spin it around and just try and make fun herself. So we're trying to change it up just to make it really nice and interesting, because she can just stay down in her bedroom if she wants to and she'd still get all of her food. Oh my goodness, that one, good girl. Let's go.
She'll come up now, okay? In a minute now, okay?
She's gone. Come on then. So we'll give her a fish, we're going back to her station, and then we'll pop her back down where she can have the rest of her food. We have got one more female to come up, and she's actually our eldest. Now I can't guarantee that she'll do much training, because Spray is quite a sassy older lady and she likes to try and get away with doing as little as possible, which is very fair. But Spray is actually 23 years old, and she is our longest living sea lion here at the zoo at the moment. So out in the wild, Californian sea lions can live to around 15 to 20 years old, but in captivity they can live to around 30. So we are hopeful that Spray has many, many years left with us here at the zoo. But we are also hopeful that she has her grandma's longevity genes, and that is because her grandmother Prue, who also lived at the zoo here, actually lived to the ripe old age of 36. Now the reason why they live a little bit longer in captivity is because they don't have to worry about trying to find food. They have a very dedicated team of keepers with blue buckets that are always filled with fish. They don't have to worry about diseases or injuries because we have a very good vet team on speed dial, which means if they do fall poorly, we can try and treat them as quickly as we can, and we can get the best medication as possible. And they don't have any predators. There's definitely no sharks or killer whales in the pool, so they don't have to worry about being predated on by them, and she definitely hasn't been picked off by a seagull in her 23 years of being here at the zoo. So she is our eldest, and she's also quite sassy. She may or may not go into the pool for her training, just because she is trying to avoid the babies a little bit at the moment. She has been a mother herself, and she was an exceptionally good mother, but having two little ones running around that aren't really yours, that are very annoying, like to steal your sleeping spot, like to nip your flippers when you're swimming, they're not particularly nice to her, so she does try and avoid them when she can. So she does also make the best sound, and that is when the babies annoy her. She does a really big shout, and the babies absolutely love it, and it just makes them want to do it more and more and more. So this is Spray, and she is our oldest female. Now she is my favourite person, yes, my favourite personality in the group, and that's because she's not afraid to tell me no or just completely outright ignore me and tell me what she wants to do instead, which means that she's basically training me, but I kind of let her get away with it. So this is Spray, and she will tell me no when she doesn't want to do something, which is really, really good, because that's what this is all about. It's all about her choosing what she wants to do. Oh my god, you're going to do a ball jump.
You're going to touch the ball, Joe?
Nope, she's going to go touch a window, maybe. Hey! I did ask for a ball jump, so I'm going to have to ask her to do another behaviour instead. So she has just expended all of her probably very... Oh, sweetheart. Can you wave? Oh, no. Wave. Good girl, thank you. So she might have read my body language wrong then, so that's completely my fault as well. So we're just going to ask her to do another behaviour like the wave, and then we'll give her some snacks for that. We'll see if she can do ball jump. Ball jump? No, you're ignoring me now. She's like, I did the thing. There we go. So most of the behaviours that we ask for are for medical reasons, so asking her to do a ball jump is a great way for us to make sure that she is feeling nice and energetic, she's got enough energy, and that she understands what we're asking for. Asking her to hopefully retrieve this means that her vision is good. If she can't see this in the water, we'll try a different colour, we'll try a bigger size, we'll try something else. Asking her to do the wave is a great way for me to see that her right flipper, good girl. Her right flipper is doing really well, and that she hasn't got any sensitivity there either. Now these guys have done an amazing job, so we're going to pop them down and give them the rest of their food. I've just got to give Casper some more eye drops where he has to stay out of the water for 5 minutes, so I'll be up to see if I can try and coax little sir off the rock there to see if he wants any food. So if you guys do have any questions, please hang around and give me a wave when I come back up again in a couple of minutes, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions for you. Thank you so much, and we do hope that you've enjoyed your day today.
Free of Eyes of him. Where? Where's he gone now? There, look, Scarlet here. Look at these are playing. I'll kick my little one.
Hello? Okay.
You probably won't see all of our colonies coming out, as we do have 23 penguins, but if they get spooked while out on this walk, or someone comes out running towards them, tries to touch them, it will make them not want to come out again in the future, and it's really important for them to come out and have a nice bit of exercise. You can keep all your hands and fingers to yourself, penguins, we don't stroke them, we don't try and pick them up, just because they can give you a very nasty nip, it's a very horrible. We've got a colony of 23 Humboldt penguins, and we have got a mixture of ages, which is why we've got a few that do look a little bit different to each other. So the adults have the black band across their chest and those funky white eyebrows. They look like they have a little bit of a black mask on. And then we've got our juveniles from last year. We've got some darker brown juveniles that were actually hatched at the beginning of last year, and then we've got some slightly greyer ones that were hatched at the beginning of sort of the middle to end of last year. Now these are Humboldt penguins, and they're actually found in South America. So they're found in places such as Chile and Peru. And there are actually 19 species of penguin found on the planet. You'll actually only find 3 of those in the South Pole, where it's really cold and icy. All the other species, much like these guys here, are only found in warmer places such as South America, Australia, New Zealand and Africa. Now they're not always going to be toasty warm all year round, which is why they still have that layer of blubber, but also that layer of fat is really important for when they go hunting for their food in the ocean. If you guys go swimming, you'll probably feel that all of your body temperature gets sucked away, and that's because water is a very good heat conductor. So they have a very nice thick layer of fat, but also they have 3 layers of feathers which keeps them nice and warm, but also nice and warm as well. So the first layer, which is really close to their skin, is called down feather, and it's really white and fluffy, and that's what they trap this area to make sure that they're nice and warm, a bit like us getting goosebumps with us trapping air on our head. Now with these guys, they will also, how we just got inside the rope, thank you very much. So with these guys, we also do have 2 extra layers of feathers, small and
Oh, he's beautiful, isn't he?
Oh, what's it? Do you want a drink, Louis? Okay, so you can't open it till we get home. There's no spike and no keys. Cuddy? I hold that tight. Are you ready? No, this one? Anything else? No, I haven't got the penny switch. No.
You want the tiger?
You've got that.
Are you sure? No, baby, I'm not having a wrap. I'm just buying it for you. Or we've got. You see any others that you like? Are you sure? You've got bunnies at
Right,
home.
wait, do you want to pay for your toy?
You haven't got a tiger at home.
Yeah.
You get a
I'll
tiger
give it to the
instead.
mister here for me, good boy. Don't touch any more. Don't pay first. Hang on. Give us a man. Pardon? This one, okay. Right, wait now, okay?